And just like that, we're back. Views from Section 400, Matt, Jack, and Brian, bringing you along the midweek show. Very special episode as the NFL 2025 schedule has been released. Perfect timing for us to record so we can dive through most of the big games, try and discuss what could be the game of the year. We'll go through the Jacksonville Jaguars for Mr. Jack, the New York Giants for Mr. Brian, and the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles for myself. Yeah, it's going to be a big show. I can't wait to get into it. Winners and losers in this one, as always. We'll touch real quick on the NBA playoffs, but I really, really want to get into this NFL schedule. And then we'll end it off with a little bit of PGA. We won't let Jack bring us down because I know he doesn't want to talk about it, but we missed the Masters. We even missed the Kentucky Derby, which has no correlation to the golf. But we're missing all the outsider events. Big events that we're just absolutely letting fly by left, right, and center, which is one thing we can stand on here as we go through the boring summer months. Let's get into it. I'm excited to talk about it. You guys can all be down on it. I'm excited, and I'm allowed to be excited. So that's what I got for the Open. We'll get right into it after a word from SeatGeek.
We finally made it through winter. Spring is here, summer is coming, and the best place to get tickets to all the baseball games, all your summer concerts, or anything else is SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the official sponsor of Views from Section 400. First-time purchasers can use our code ViewsFrom400 at checkout for $20 off any tickets, whether you're going to a baseball game, watching the Mets, watching the Phillies, you want to see a country concert on a lawn, and wherever venue you want to go to. SeatGeek is the place to go. Super easy to get any ticket. They have a one-of-a-kind system, shows you the best deal for your buck, and the best part, you get $20 off your first purchase with code ViewsFrom400 at checkout. We love SeatGeek. Thank you to them again, and here's the rest of the show.
All right, we're back. NBA playoffs, real quick. Get into the NFL in just...
You hate the NBA, dude.
I mean, if the Sixers aren't in it, I'm not going to be entirely locked in as I should be, and...
We had some fun games.
Hot take.
Awesome playoffs.
I was going to say hot take. I mean, other than the Knicks, dude, the Pacers just won 4-1. The 7-seeded Warriors and the 6-seeded Timberwolves with Steph Curry getting hurt, boring. What OKC better run the table on the Nuggets. I guess the beginning of that series was cool.
Game 5 was electric. That was a great game. Jokic going for 44. SGA finally realizing he can drive the paint and score at will. It was a fun game, back and forth. Jokic hit a crazy 3 to tie the game with a minute left. Had the whole Thunder Arena doing Surrender Cobra. They were all dressed in blue, so it was like a wave going down. Like, oh, God, we're going to lose again. And then SGA bailed them out. That was a fantastic basketball game.
Yeah,
that was a crazy 3.
That was a vintage Jokic 3. But these games have been awesome. Every single one of those Nuggets Thunders games has been awesome.
It's one series. We got a whole playoffs here.
And look, nobody gave the Knicks, and myself included, nobody gave the Knicks a shot coming into this series against Boston. They're up 3-1. All of the games have been competitive. I mean, the first two coming down to those crazy moments. This last one, I mean, it had Tatum getting hurt, which was pretty tough. But look, there's a lot going on. Boston is still a deep team. You know, we've been talking about that all season. Even without Tatum, they still have 5-6 guys that are, you know, at an all-star level almost. So, yeah, these series have been great, man. I mean, the only one that I can really give you, quite honestly, is not even the Cavs, man. The Cavs competed, but the Warriors without Steph, it's not going to be fun. The Minnesota Timberwolves are going to crush them.
Maybe I'm just a little bit sour about the Sixers, but either way, I've been looking forward to this NFL schedule release for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's fair. NFL is king. I do want to touch back on the Tatum injury because the first thing I thought of when I saw he tore his Achilles was Jack, when we were reacting to the lottery, saying the NBA wants to get Cooper Flagg in the Eastern Conference. Because now, with Tatum out next year, the East pretty much has Tyrese and Jalen Brunson, who are likely going to face off in the Eastern Conference Finals. And beyond that, what do you have? Trae Young, Paolo, Cade?
I mean, yeah, you're definitely assuming clearly that Giannis is headed to the Western Conference, but
I am. He's going to the Spurs. It's going to happen.
Him and Wemby would be an unfair front court, but it would be awesome. The East does not have it. They have a lot of good teams that don't have the superstar power, right? I feel like that's what we say about the Cavs. Even as good as Donovan Mitchell is, they still need another superstar that can score the ball, take the load off of Mitchell a little bit. Same thing with the Pistons and Cade. Cade's phenomenal, but they need another guy that can be there and take a load off his back. And then, Paolo and Franz, they're great too, but too young, not enough good pieces around them. So, yeah, we're going to need to see some sort of shift where these Eastern Conference teams get good, because right now, you're right. Looking at it and how everything seems to be shaken out, it's going to be the Knicks and the Pacers again next year.
Yeah. And, oh, man, I'm the first person to knock Jason Tatum. I do feel like he was the king, or was on track to be kind of the king of the Eastern Conference, the way LeBron was, with the help of Derek White and Jaylen Brown and all those guys. And it's unfortunate.
Yeah, he definitely has a ton of help. I mean, I would not.
I guess that's the difference. Yeah.
Him and LeBron, the Celtics were about to be like LeBron, where they just carry the Eastern Conference. Yes, but not Jason Tatum specifically. I mean, again, talked about it all year, but like Drew Holiday is their 7th best player. And that man is a multiple-time NBA champion, all-star, defensive player of the year. And he's coming off the bench as the 7th guy.
Yeah, the crazy thing, too, and Boston fans who had it so well going from the Patriots to the Celtics, and I guess maybe Drake May and the Patriots could become something. We'll get to that in the schedule release. But next year, you're probably going to lose Drew. I don't know if Kristaps is going to be the same. And you have some other guys on these contracts that are set to expire. The Celtics' reign might have ended before it even really got started.
Yeah, and I know you guys don't listen to Philadelphia sports radio. Why should you? But Daryl Morey was on one of the, I guess 97.5, the Fanatic is what they call it. And he said that exact point, Brian. The Celtics are not going to be able to keep this team together. They're not going to be able to keep this core together. We're going to see it collapse, maybe not as quick as Tatum going down, and I don't know what all the contracts look like, but it's going to be really tough to keep that team together. The Sixers are still young, and I'm not trying to go on a Sixers rant, but I do think going forward, especially getting the number 3 pick, the Sixers are in a really good spot going forward. Again, issues with Embiid, I understand it's been a nightmare. But going forward, especially now what we know with Jason Tatum, I'm feeling really good going forward with the Sixers. And you're right, the Celtics could be in a quicker downfall before a dynasty. And I did not think that that's where we would be, the defending champions.
Yeah. I mean, look, you lose your best player to a series or season-ending injury that's going to keep him out for most of next season, if not probably all of next season. So, yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, you got to think about they're probably not beating the Knicks in this game happening right now. The Knicks probably take this series home, and, they're certainly have to go back to the drawing board if you're Boston. It's going to be tough to keep Peyton Pritchard, just won 6th man of the year. You got Drew Holiday getting older. You got Al Horford getting older. Kristaps is always, he's a unicorn in so many ways. You never know where he's going to be next either. So, yeah, a lot of stuff going on. And it doesn't seem like Jaylen Brown, as much as they're paying him, is going to be the guy to actually carry them like LeBron would.
No, he's playing like a player that should have been snubbed from the Olympic roster.
Maybe. Anyway, I think the biggest takeaway here is we're just, and I know we're not just saying, when he comes back, but when Tatum comes back, this is a torn Achilles. We saw Kobe Bryant come back from this and never really be the same. I know Kobe's Kobe, but
Tatum's 25.
It's 27.
Dude, the Achilles with the jump shot, the running up. I mean, basketball is very demanding on your legs, your Achilles, and what he just ruptured. Is he going to come back and be good? I would believe so. I would assume so. I would think so. But is he going to come back and be the absolute dominant 50-point when you need it kind of guy? I don't know. I think there's a question mark around that. if you're just going to say, hey, he's 25, 27, whatever, and he'll be the same, I'm not going to get behind that.
I mean, I already think that he's not the 40, 50-point guy. I know he was having a great game.
Yeah, there's an argument to be made for even that.
Yeah, no,
You know what I mean.
I do know what you mean. I mean, NBA fans have a wide opinion on that man. He is a very controversial figure, but there's some people that think that he's, legitimately the face of the league, and I'm on the opposite side where I think he's more in the Jaylen Brown camp of, look, these guys are really great players, but I'm taking LeBron, I'm taking Jokic, I'm taking SGA, like so many other guys before I'm taking them as my all-star. Like I'm still taking Kate. I'm taking Paolo. Especially
easy to say now after the ruptured Achilles.
No, I'm saying
you've been on that side, Jack. I know you've been on that side.
Achilles.
I don't know if I can get with you. I love Paulo as much as the next guy, but I think that's where I draw the line there. But modern medicine is so good. He's going to be fine.
We'll have to see. It's a long road to recovery. The quickest comeback is what? Aaron Rodgers?
I mean, let's keep in mind it's also a mental thing. Like Jason Tatum is one of those guys who his whole career was highlighted, touted as like, one of the best players in his class. Where'd he go? Duke, Kentucky?
Yeah, Duke.
Yeah, like, always been that guy. So for him to face this kind of adversity, I don't know if he's faced that before. Like, we'll see how he responds mentally.
You think he texted Kobe yet?
No.
Let's go on to
no need to bring that up.
Let's get on to football.
That's the worst part. I don't know what else you guys want to talk about it. The Caps are dead. I've been saying that for months. It just finally came to reality for everybody who wasn't on that side. And you guys kind of mentioned it when I said the playoffs have been boring, which I haven't been impressed. The Thunder are up 3-2. Great. Are the Thunder? I mean, I guess I don't watch them enough, but I feel like
you clearly aren't watching these games because they've been electric.
I'm not, but the Thunders were more fun last year than they are this year.
I don't think so.
Why do you say that?
I just think they were more electric. I thought SGA had a better year last year than he did this year, which is interesting because he's probably going to win the MVP this year. And I don't know. I just thought that the life, maybe because they were a brand new team, I liked them a little bit more and watched them a little bit more. But I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to do some more research on to why and circle back with you. I'll give you the politician answer.
I know I hated on Alex Caruso on the last show, but he's been really fun to watch, especially in that last game. You have Chet Holmgren dunking on people. Jalen Williams still hasn't been great. He's shooting 7 for 29 from 3 in this series, but they're a fun team, and they're probably our best shot to have a fun finals. At least those fans care too.
Yeah, I'll give them that. The fan base cares, and have they cared all year long? I think we'd have to look at attendance numbers, but the one fan base that just cares in April, it's got to be the Knicks, right? I mean, I know people who Brian, don't give me that face. I know people who I don't hear a word about the Knicks in December, January, February, and come the first week of April, the Brunson jerseys are out, the blue and orange hats are out, and it's Knicks mania. And that's fine, but I mean, it's a little bit fraudulent.
I think you're basing your hypothesis here off of one person in particular who I think you're thinking of, but like the real fans are there every night. Like those Bing Bong videos and Sidekick NYC videos are from like the 5th game of the season, and they're chanting New York, New York. They're singing New York forever.
There's a select few, I'm sure, as every hardcore or every fan base has a select few. But go look at attendance numbers for the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden in December, and tell me if it's packed out.
Look,
it probably is.
There's no doubt that it amplifies when it comes playoff time, right? When it comes playoff time, everybody's looking for a ticket. Tickets go from, I don't know, $120 a pop to, a couple hundred a pop. So, and then everybody who doesn't get into the game, they're standing outside of MSG. Like, no, that doesn't happen for a game in December. But this is the playoffs. They're one game away from the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, they're going to be out there for that.
I'll agree to disagree.
The Knicks were 3rd in attendance this year.
It's New York. It's all tourists. It's the same thing as LA.
cop out.
It's what it is. I don't make the rules.
That place gets loud. Staples Center or Crypto.com Arena.
You gonna tell me that the Knicks don't even play in New York? They're in
Well,
Manhattan.
they do. Well, they do. They do play in New York. I won't nitpick that much, but I think there's a case for it to be, to be the tourist effect. Absolutely.
If there's one gripe you want to have.
Basketball.
No, Brian, you're not allowed to tell me what gripe I'm allowed to have. You're not allowed to tell me what opinion I'm allowed to have. No.
Well, your first one's wrong. I'm trying to level with you and give you one that I agree with. It's these celebrity fans sitting courtside that haven't been there all year that then come out.
So Spike Lee's not a fraud because he's there all year?
Yes, like the only ones that are really there supporting, I would say, are Spike Lee, Ben Stiller, and then Timothy Chalamet has been a fan all year, but this is the first time I actually saw him courtside.
He was there last year courtside when they were on the run.
He skipped the Met Gala to watch Game 3.
Nah, it was ridiculous. Was Gary V courtside with his kids in that last game? I don't know if anybody saw him, but I picked him out.
NFT guy.
Yeah, the NFT guy. Yeah, he was on. Yeah, he was on the courtside. That's definitely some fraudulent action. I don't know, man. There's a case to be said for some of the fans who were showing up, and you don't have to agree with me, man. You don't, but I'll leave it at that, and let the basketball gods decide the Knicks' fate.
They're probably going to win the final.
I don't think they will. The Pacers are.
Let's go, Knicks.
Look what happened last year in the Eastern Conference Finals. Brunson died. Julius Randle had surgery. I could go on a list of players. Then OGN and Obi end up being out. I mean, their entire team died because Thibodeau plays them 48 minutes a night. And by the time they got to the Eastern Conference Finals, they had nothing left.
Second round. They got bounced by the Pacers in the second round.
I thought they made the conference. Or no,
the Pacers.
The Pacers made yeah, they got something. So either way, that's because the Sixers beat them up. But either way, they had nothing left. And are they getting beat up in this series? Maybe not as much, but Brunson's been taking some hard falls, and it's still been, the Celtics win one more game. That's another dogfight that they got to go through. They'll probably win for sure, but it's another dogfight. I don't know. I think you're giving the Knicks a lot of credit here.
I think it's deserved.
I think it's deserved. Beating the defending champs, winning the first two in Boston too.
For sure, deserved up until this point. But you're saying that they're going to win the finals.
Look,
The Pacers just knocked off the Cavaliers that are the 1 seed, and you had arguably making the finals as well, or losing to the Celtics. So what are we talking about here? There's no credit for the Pacers, and we're just...
I'm giving the Pacers credit. I'm just saying that Knicks probably they're probably favored in that series if they had to make a line right now.
You really think so? I don't think so. I want the Knicks to win. I hope they win. I don't think there's a shot that they have the line in their favor over.
They're probably like minus 200 to win the series.
The Pacers got to be like the number. They got to be. Actually, I would probably.
Hottest team in basketball right now.
We could probably look at the futures
behind
right
the Thunder. They got to be the number 1 team with the odds to win it all right now.
No, it's probably Thunder, Knicks, Timberwolves, Indiana.
Stop that.
I'm guessing it's Thunder, Knicks, Timberwolves, Indiana.
Thunder.
Pacers will be better than the Timberwolves at a minimum.
Thunder, Pacers.
Here we go. I got it. NBA Finals. Look at this. OKC minus 135. Knicks plus 480. Timberwolves plus 600. Pacers plus 700.
That's crazy.
All right. Well, the value is there.
Put the house on the Pacers right now.
The value is there, but
yeah, that's wild to me. But I don't know. I got nothing left for the NBA unless you guys do. I'm just trying to take the opposite side of everything being said.
Nothing more for NBA, but for NHL, Brian, 2-0.
Congratulations. I'm so out on this Florida Panthers team, and I'm probably going to have to be right back in after this round because the Caps are frauding, and we're going to have to deal with a bunch of Canada teams against the Panthers. And I'm going to have to root for your stupid Panthers to go back-to-back.
Yeah, well, we can't.
You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to root for the Panthers. You've gone against me at every corner, and you're not allowed to jump.
You're not allowed to tell me who I can root for.
There you go.
If you try to climb on this bus, I will
that
kick you off.
Well, either way, it's going to be interesting, right? If it's a rematch of last year, and I don't know where the Oilers stand, but imagine Brian have to root for a Pacific Northwest team to win it all.
Did we establish that they counted? You know, I'm sick of arguing these things. Sure, the Oilers count. At this point, I'm hoping somebody from the West Coast wins. So I just have to stop debating whether they are on the West Coast or not.
I mean, it was just last year you made that claim, and like 2 weeks later, the Oilers were in the finals. And I think friend of the program, Ben, was like, it's close enough and a ridiculous of enough take to where it counts. So I always revert back to his comment to confirm where it is. But either way, that's crazy stuff there. And that's kind of the NBA and a quick NHL in there as well. But I think we finally need to go into the NFL. I don't want to give all the juice out on the NBA and then we're dead for the NFL. But the NFL 2025 schedule is here. We have the entirety of the lineup out. I don't know how you want to do this or go through this, but maybe pick a game of the year. I don't know what you guys are seeing on the board. Maybe
see 4 game of the years.
Yeah, there are some game of the years potential candidates. Brian, if you already got 4 loaded up, let me know what you're thinking.
Yeah, we got Minnesota versus Pittsburgh in week 4 in Dublin. JJ McCarthy taking on Will Howard. Great matchup between young white quarterbacks there. Baltimore versus Buffalo in week 1, Sunday Night Football. More so because I can actually watch week 1 of Sunday Night Football, and that's going to be a great game. Very excited about that one. Detroit at Cincinnati, week 5, almost got it for me. If it was in Ford Field, this would be my number 1 game of the year, but it's not in Ford Field. So unfortunately, it's just an honorable mention. And the last one, Texans taking on the Jaguars in Jacksonville. Week 3, Christian Kirk revenge game, or is this Travis Hunter shutting down Christian Kirk and Nico Collins, and the Jacksonville Jaguars become the team that everyone is hunting in the AFC South?
I like that. I like the way you framed that last one, Brian. That's exactly what that game is going to come down to. Jags beat the Texans, claim the Kings of the South, and we're going to ride that title for the next 10 years. Starts week 3.
Starts week 3. Yeah, I don't won't go that far, but I will give the Jaguars, at least in my eyes, are the biggest question mark in that division. Like, I think we kind of know where Houston will be. I don't think we know what the hell we're going to get out of Jacksonville. What's Travis Hunter going to be? What kind of quarterback is Trevor Lawrence? How do all these new coaches adapt? Is the GM going to make any moves if they get out to a hot start and bring a piece in that makes them better to go? So, like, it's just such a question mark that, I don't know. I think I have my opinions on them. It's going to be a long off season and a long season. I don't need Jack coming at my neck just yet, but we'll get into that as the summer rolls on. I will give out my games of the year. I don't know if I have 4 of them, but I think week 1 in Philadelphia, game 1 of the year, has potential to be a game of the year when the Dallas Cowboys come to Philadelphia, like I said, and play the defending Super Bowl champions. This game, every year for the past, I don't know how many years, seems to be a high-scoring thriller. Maybe, I mean, even just last year came down to the guy's foot being by a toe, Isaiah Likely being by a toe out of bounds. So this first game of the year, for whatever reason, scripted or not, seems to be electric and gets everybody back involved in the game of football. So I think there is something to be said there. And not to go Dallas back-to-back here, but I think we finally get an awesome Thanksgiving Day game when the Kansas City Chiefs travel to Dallas. This game has been piss poor boring because it's always the Giants who, for some reason, go and play the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. And it's total shit. Total shit. So finally they removed that. I think the ratings for this game, football at 4:00 on Thanksgiving, that ratings are going to be through the roof, and we should get a really good game as long as injuries, for the most part, aren't existent. So those are my 2 games that caught my attention. I'd have to do a deeper dive in the entire schedule as we just had it released 5 minutes ago, but those are my 2 games that I have circled immediately 5 minutes into the release.
I like the Thanksgiving Day game calls, especially, and I really hope you're right about that too, because I am not a fan of the Christmas Day games. NFL's getting 3 games on Christmas this year. I'm not a fan of them. And I know that there's, people are going to be like, oh, they're division rivals. We got Lions, Vikings. We got Cowboys, Commanders. I just have a feeling that there's a very good chance that one of those teams in both matchups is going to be dog shit by the time we get to Christmas.
So do you not like? You're saying you don't like the specific Christmas Day games this year. You're not saying you don't like the idea of Christmas games.
Oh, I throw a game on Christmas, man. I wish we had a game every single day of this 365-day calendar, but I don't like the matchups on Christmas this year.
Okay, I'm a little more with you there. I thought when you first started that take, I thought you were just hating on the fact they played on Christmas, and I was ready to just punch you through the screen.
Yeah, I thought that's the way you were going with that one as well.
Right cheek.
But no, they could have been better. But hey, look, NFL on Thanksgiving, I think holds a little more weight than it does on Christmas Day. Also, the fact of it's the end of the season pretty much too. I think for the most part, again, implications here or there, but I think for the most part, we kind of know what the playoff outlook is going to be. At least I think this past year, we kind of had a really good idea. There's usually only a game or two left in the schedule. So Thanksgiving still holds the weight. So for me, I don't care that much, but I do agree it could be a little bit of a better product, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well,
Jack, any games we have circled here?
Yeah, a couple. Yeah, you know me. I'm all about the Jags. We're hosting, or I don't know, are we hosting? Yeah, we're hosting the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday Night Football, Week 5. I'm definitely looking forward to that one. But even before we get to that one, I'm super pumped for Week 2, playing Cincinnati and Joe Burrow. I think that is going to be a very good litmus test for where we're at. I know it's only Week 2 in the season. I know the Bengals have their own issues on the defensive side of the ball, but going up against Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, with our big 3 in Trevor, Travis, and BTJ, I'm super excited to see what that matchup looks like, and I think it might be a very fun game to watch.
So you're not at all annoyed about that Kansas City game being Monday night and not Sunday night? You got Joe Paul?
Give me a Manning cast. Give me a Manning cast. That's right. I'll pray for it.
Yeah.
Better hope it's a bye week.
Or I just put it on mute and scream at the TV the whole time like I normally do a Jaguars game. So I'm not worried about Joe Buck.
I was gonna say, who gives a shit about the people calling the game? Put it on mute for all week.
Jack does. He clearly does. He's gone at Joe Buck like 10 times on this program.
Yeah, we have 6 months to warm up to the announcers. Let's dive into the actual schedule here. All right. If the Jaguars can make it to the bye afloat, and by afloat, I don't know what that looks like. The end of their schedule seems very mediocre and very wishy-washy with teams. I mean,
it's the AFC South.
Well, I know, but again, Carolina, we think that should be a win at home.
Starting the season with Carolina is, I think, really important for us. The past few seasons, we have had tough first games of the season. So getting them to start it off, and then we go play the Bengals, the Texans, the Chiefs. Those are going to be a tough early on in the season.
You go Cincinnati, Houston at home, then you travel to San Francisco, follow it up with Kansas City at home. Then you actually, is that 3 home games in a row? You get Kansas City at home, Seattle at home, and then the Rams at home.
Well, the Rams game's actually, that's the London game for us.
Oh, that's
home.
right.
That's right. That's your second home. That's your future home.
That's more of a home game than it would be for LA, I guess. But then
at least we're not playing 2 out there back to back again this year. That was brutal for us last year.
I think the Vikings might be doing that this year.
The Vikings do it in a different way. They go Dublin, then London.
Oh, that's so much worse.
Yeah, so same time zone, but they have to hop on a flight in between.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, after the bye, it's the Raiders, Houston again, which is tough. The Chargers, we don't know what they are, but then Arizona, Titans, Colts,
on the Chargers.
Jets, at Denver could be tough, and then at the Colts, Hobart. I mean, you clean up there with very, very winnable games, at least on paper. So first half of the season is going to be a big test for the Jacksonville Jaguars if they stay healthy. And like I said, just stay 500. You don't have to win every single game, but just get to the bye 500. They got a really good shot to close the season strong against some weaker opponents.
It's been a while since you've won at Lucas Oil, right?
The Colts will be a tough game for the Jaguars. Joe Flacco came in and threw for 400 yards on the road against the Jaguars last year. It's going to be two tough games.
Or maybe it's been a while since you've beaten the Colts at home. I know there's some Colts streak that the Jaguars have a tough time.
I don't know, dude. I'm never worried about the Colts. That's the thing. I'm never worried. I don't like them, but I'm never worried about them. It's always the Texans. It's always the Texans. Dude, I hate the Titans more than I hate the Colts. Like the Colts, I know the Colts are a pretty, historically good franchise, Peyton Manning and all that jazz, early 2000s, but I ain't worried about the Colts, man. You don't have a quarterback, I am not worried about you.
11-6 for the Jaguars. Brian, do you want to go through the Giants real quick? Biggest takeaways? I mean, I think they're starting out 0-8.
Very pop. They're going to beat Washington in Washington week 1. I am so ready for that to happen.
Are they?
Yeah, they are. The Giants are kings of winning games they're not supposed to, and then losing everything else that they might have a chance in. Like how they beat Seattle in Seattle for no reason last year. And I couldn't even enjoy it because the Mets lost that day.
That was the Drew Lock game. He has smart to get out of the system.
No, the Drew Lock game was against the Colts. Those bastardly Colts.
Then who did it? Who did it against Seattle?
We had a blocked field goal as time expired.
I thought you guys had like 4 touchdowns in that game.
They might have. I think that might have been the Tyrone Tracy game.
Talking about the shit Giants, man. What are we doing?
They're so bad.
I know is week 2 in Dallas is always the absolute blowout game, and I'm thinking Dallas spread for that.
They're going to lose by 40 to Dallas, and then they might lose by 50 to Kansas City on the short week. That's Thursday night football, right? Or is that Sunday night? No, that's Sunday night. Okay, even worse. They'll get blown out in front of a national stage. They'll lose Justin Herbert. They'll beat the Saints. So there's 2 wins in
I can see that they'll beat the Saints.
Brian, when does Jackson Dart make his first start?
At home against Washington on December 14th.
At home week 1. Or on the road week 1.
No, it's going to go Russ up until versus Philly. He'll get hurt when Jalen Carter murders him on the field. And then we'll get Jameis up until the bye week. And then after the bye, Jackson Dart will finish out the season.
Washington, Minnesota on the road against Vegas. Yeah, they give them 3 home games to do it.
And that's not overly tough. Dallas will probably be eliminated by the last week of the season, so that'll be against backups. Vegas will probably be eliminated. Minnesota might be fighting for a wild card. Yeah, Dart might look good in those 4 games, and I'll probably be all in for the Giants next year.
Yeah, I mean, they
right on schedule.
Drafted him with a first-round pick, so it's tough because they have Russell Wilson as well, and we know the media attention and ego without ego that he has, right? It's like he acts like he doesn't have an ego, but we know the ego's there, and we know he runs his mouth behind closed doors, so not sure how he's going to feel about getting benched for Dart. I think it's going to be one of those make up an injury so he doesn't have to feel the shame of getting publicly benched.
Yeah, he'll make up the injury against Philly, and then Jameis will take over, and Jameis will gladly hand the reins off to Dart when he's on one leg and his rotator cuff's torn, but he's still trying to play for the good of the team.
I agree. Brian, your prediction of the Giants' final record?
1-0, 0-1, 1-2. Okay, I'll go through games here. They'll beat Washington, lose to Dallas, lose to Kansas City, lose to the Chargers, beat the Saints. That puts them at 2-3 through 5 weeks. Lose to Philly, lose to Denver, lose to Philly, lose to San Francisco, beat Chicago, lose to Green Bay, lose to Detroit, beat New England, lose to Washington, lose to Minnesota, beat Vegas, lose to Dallas. So that puts them at 4-13.
Oof.
They'll
I
beat
still think that's
Vegas.
too much.
They'll beat Vegas. They'll beat New England, and they'll beat the Saints and Washington.
Yeah, I can get behind the 3. I can get behind the 3. No, I can get behind the 3. I don't see where and I guess your angle is, hey, they win one game that they're really not supposed to win. I think that game that they're not supposed to win is away to Chicago week 10.
I have them winning that too.
Oh, you did have that?
Yeah. I think like in that week 1, it's going to be Washington coming off the hangover of the NFC Championship season, and that's going to be the healthiest the Giants' scary defensive line is going to be. That's going to be their best shot at beating a good quarterback, and why not go with the second-year quarterback? So I think there's a path for the Giants to win that game and give all of those New Yorkers false hope before they lose the next 3.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a chance in week 1. Week 1 is crazy. I tend not to bet on it for that reason. Even though football's back, I'm juiced up, ready to go. I always lose money on week 1, so I've actually decided not to do that the past few seasons. There's a chance they can beat Washington, but you really think they get 4 games? I think I can see a path for 2 games and maybe a third if they get lucky.
Yeah, I see 3 is what I have them at.
I think most they win 6, least they win is 2. Like
6,
there's a chance they split with Dallas, they split with Washington, and they beat Chicago, Vegas, Saints, and yeah,
their late season is going to be a lot like this past season, where they could be the number 1 pick going into next year, or they could be the number 6, 7. I just feel like those last few games could go very different ways. They're playing Vegas, they're playing Dallas. Both of those teams could be trying to tank for a pick. Giants, damn well.
The Vikings too with McCarthy, they could suck.
They could suck, but they
that's their certified starter.
Yeah, they had Sam Darnold.
Where did Darnold go?
Seattle.
Seattle. That's right.
He's going to win the MVP because he's got Marquez Valdez-Scantling over there.
Because Gino's gone.
Stupid. But that's also why I don't.
That's 4 years.
I don't think you're beating Vegas because Vegas has Gino, and Gino is light years better than any quarterback you have in your room.
I think Jackson Dart's better than Gino.
Can be. But if you're going to ask me who do I want to roll out there, like week 1 or anytime this season, I'm going Gino over Dart. It's a rookie.
You don't know what he is yet. Yeah, you have no idea.
I mean, I don't know. Geno Smith is like that boring. It's like going to like a pizza place you know is going to be fine versus trying out like a 5-star restaurant. Like he's fine. I want to try out the new one.
Man, that dollar slice hits every time though.
Yeah, but that's different. I'm talking about like a mediocre chain. No, because chain pizza sucks. You get the idea.
All right, should we get into defending Super Bowl champions, Philadelphia Eagles? Tough schedule, and I think there's a chance they start out 0-2, at least when I saw Dallas on the schedule. But I also realized Dallas is being led by an unqualified rookie head coach, a guy who that was on nobody's radar to get the job. I don't even know the guy's last name. Some long name that I forget how to pronounce.
First name Brian. Great first name.
Yeah, Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah, he was on nobody's radar to land the job. I think it's another Jerry Jones puppet, worse than Jason Garrett is what I'm getting from that. So, yeah, that alone, I'll give the Eagles a win week 1 at Kansas City, revenge spot. We saw when the Eagles lost to Kansas City in the Super Bowl that follow-up year when they went on the road to Kansas City, they won. So I think roles reversed here. They go on the road after just beating Kansas City in the Super Bowl. I think they lose that game in Kansas City. I think they can pick up a win at home against the Rams. They beat Tampa Bay. They beat Denver. They beat the Giants. Away at Minnesota, I don't know what the quarterback's going to do. So I will say a win because I'm not confident in McCarthy. Should beat the Giants again at home right before the bye. Here's where it gets a little bit tricky. Away at Green Bay, could be a loss. And since it's instant reaction and I can be biased, I'll say that's a win. I want to say at Green Bay's a loss and Detroit's a win, but I'll flip it for the sake of
you split those.
you split those. I don't know which way they go. Maybe they win then lose, then maybe they lose then win, but that's a split. At Dallas could also be a loss. I'm gonna say win, but I think that could be another tricky game. At home against Chicago, I think that's when you really get into football season, right? Cold, it's the link. I don't know that the Chicago Bears are ready for that atmosphere. At LA, that's a tricky game with Jim Harbaugh. I don't know. I'll give them a win on that just because I think the Eagles offense will have a lot more than whatever the Chargers throw at them. They beat Vegas at home. They beat Washington on the road, which is a game they lost last year. Again, Kenny Pickett was the starter, so we'll see what happens there. And then at Buffalo, I don't expect them to win that game, and they could be on cruise control for the playoffs by that point. So I'll give that to Buffalo, and then they wrap up with Washington. I'll give them the win there. Brian, were you keeping track of any of that?
I think you had them at 13.
13
You had them
wins?
lose to Dallas. You had them
No,
lose.
Did I have them losing to Dallas? I had tricky games that I gave. I had Buffalo as a loss. I had a loss
You had
between
them starting 0-2, right?
No,
He said they could start 0-2.
I said they could, but I think the Dallas head coach is underqualified and not going to be a good head coach. So on the road in Philly, I think they get that one, but I do think they start 1-1. I think they lose to the Chiefs. There's a lot of 50-50 games. There's literally a lot of 50-50. Like that Minnesota game on the road is 50-50 for me. That the at Green Bay, then home versus Detroit, that's a split situation. I don't know. At Dallas is 50-50. On the road against the Chargers, I think they win. I won't say as much as 50-50, but I think it could be tricky with Harbaugh. And I think away at Buffalo week 16 is a loss. At Kansas City, at Buffalo are the two I'm okay, they're probably going to lose that game. And I think either Green Bay or Detroit, I don't know which one, I think that's a loss as well. So 3 losses and then 3 more 50-50 games. So take that however you want to take it.
4-0 at the end of the second, Brian.
Most dangerous lead in hockey.
No, it's not.
It's now.
4-0 is not.
It is now.
Yeah, Matt, I like where you were at with that. I think you're definitely giving your team some leeway here.
It's a Super Bowl hangover, right? I mean, they're coming off winning. I'm not, and they did get gutted on defense and tried to rebuild through the draft, which I don't know is the greatest way to go about that. So the offense will still be the offense. They didn't lose much, but the defense could be an issue. I mean, they're returning some great guys. Jalen Carter's a game wrecker in himself, but some question marks. And like you said, a little bit of leeway after the Super Bowl and getting gutted.
Yeah, teams are going to be hunting for you, so.
For sure. Brian, wait for your thoughts on the anti-Eagles analysis as you're in the Giants hat.
I mean, you have them at 3, maybe 3 losses minimum, 6 losses maximum. It sounds like. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think that's around. I think the sweet spot, I don't know which way it plays out, is 4 losses.
Yeah, it's fair. They just won the Super Bowl.
I don't know. Where did they go last year? They went 14-3 last year. So
yeah,
you're not. I don't want them to go 17-0. You need them to face a little adversity, right?
Yeah. If anything, maybe they take a slight step back. 13-4, 12-5.
Yeah,
they're still the 1 seed because the Lions are going to take a step back probably. Nice voice crack.
Yeah,
there.
Lions take a step back. Sleeper lineup or sleeper schedule. Jack won't like this one, but and there's a big if, the Carolina Panthers get a win week 1 on the road. I know Jack is already writing that off, but just play ifs here. Try and be a good sport. If they get a victory week 1, look at that next couple games that they have. They go on the road to Arizona, at home versus Atlanta, on the road to New England, at home against Miami, at home against Dallas, on the road against New York Jets. So very winnable. I mean, the Carolina Panthers have an opportunity.
They're not good enough. They're not there yet.
Right.
They finished the season really well last year.
No.
Bryce
Brian,
Young looked like he was good.
No. They finished the season well after everyone wrote them off. Stop giving a shit. I mean, but the second half, I shouldn't say the second half, but the end of last football season, there were a lot of teams that just were out and didn't give a crap. And I mean, I guess that happens every year, but I feel like there weren't as many teams fighting as we normally see.
Sure, there were.
Panthers
why do you hate the Carolina Panthers?
Panthers got a couple extra wins. People think that they looked good at the end of the season. They looked okay.
Schedule pick for a reason.
People were writing them off. That's why they're coming into this season. They're not going to have the expectation. So yeah, maybe they catch the Jags, week 1 by surprise. But guys,
and that's what I'm saying.
They're going to be the same team that they were last year, where they get some spot wins, and when they win, everyone's like, "Holy crap, the Panthers won a game." No one's expecting them to come out and win any of these games.
Well, look how flaky that I mean, dude. Jacksonville, Arizona, Atlanta, New York. Brian, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Jack's not seeing it because we haven't beaten the Jags week 1, but
I don't know if they'll beat the Jags, but they might win that division.
The Panthers winning the division.
I don't have them winning the division, but I'm just saying, look at those first 6,
Jack, it's only going to take 7-8 wins to win that division. Probably it's bad. It's really bad.
Well, Tampa's probably still the front runner, right?
Yeah, but they just lost their offensive coordinator, who made Baker Mayfield look like Joe Montana. So I think they're going to take a slight step back. And they had 9-10 wins and they won it last year. If they lose 1 or 2 more of those, that's an 8-win team winning the division.
We're also we haven't even brought up a Falcons team who should be pretty dang good.
They stink.
Yeah.
I think they had a great draft addressing what they needed, getting good guys, 2 first-round edge rushers. Michael Penix is going to be coming into his second year, where he's actually going to be healthy this year. He's going to command the offense. I'm excited for them, dude. I think the Falcons take that division.
I'm not buying any Falcons hype ever again. They're the Falcons, and they'll always be the Falcons. Until Arthur Blank sells the team, they're going to be the Falcons. And we were talking about them as Super Bowl contenders last year.
You'd rather buy in on the Panthers, Brian?
Yeah, they're a fun young team, and they had a young coaching staff. They have a young quarterback. They have a young receiving core. Derek Brown's there. I like the Panthers. They're building something, and they have been building something, and this seems like the year it starts to show. They've been getting exponentially better each year during this rebuild.
How good is the Tet McMillan guy that they drafted?
He sucks.
Is he going to?
He's not going to be good.
Okay. It's going to be him. It's going to be him, Adam Thielen, and Xavier Legette with Chuba Hubbard in the backfield, and then Bryce Young. I'm not saying that's great, but like Brian said, something to build on.
Xavier Legette's going to take a step. Adam Thielen's solid, and Chuba Hubbard just ran. How many? I forget. He almost had the league leading yards, and then he got hurt at the end, and he had to sit out. He's a good running back.
That was pure volume. They said
he was good.
JC Horn, lockdown number 1 corner.
He's their best player. Or at least they paid him like it.
No, Derek Brown is their best player.
At least they paid him like it. Big Derek Brown, War Eagle. But dude, this Panthers team's bad. Those weapons.
I'm not saying they're great, but
Chuba Hubbard almost led the league in rushing because they handed the ball off to him 30 times a game last year because they didn't want to see Bryce Young throw it.
He got he probably averaged 19 carries a game.
I didn't realize this would spark this much of a debate, but I agree to both points, right? I'm not saying the Panthers roster is spectacular and this amazing lineup, but I think when you mix the first 8 weeks and what they have and to build off of, coach in the second year, quarterback another year into the league, rookie wide receiver that Brian says will suck, but we have no idea. We have no idea what he can be. And Chuba Hubbard, sure, I'll get behind him being solid. But look at the schedule.
16.7 carries per game.
Look at the schedule. The schedule
and the division. It's not
and the division. like, if you want value, I'm not saying it's great value, but if you want value, there's potentially an angle on the Carolina Panthers to win the division. And I know it sounds crazy after the year we just saw. And I think it's going to all come down to that week 1 game. If they steal a win on the road against Jacksonville, that's why Jack absolutely hates this whole conversation. And I get it and I understand, because it will derail the Jaguars' entire season. But if they go and steal one in Jacksonville, the next 4, 5, 6 weeks are winnable games. Will they win all the games? Will they win some of the games? Will they win any of the games? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But it's a hell of a lot better than playing some of the other teams in the NFL. That's about the easiest schedule and string of games from teams that had below 500 records last year that you could have if you're a Carolina Panther team trying to win a really shitty division.
Yep, I completely agree.
This is going to be the same thing we saw last year. We're going to be seeing the Atlanta Falcons and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers fighting for king of the NFC South. The Panthers are going to be nowhere to be found. The New Orleans Saints are going to be nowhere to be found. They're an irrelevant franchise at this point in the league. 2025, the Panthers are irrelevant. Same thing with the Saints.
All right, let's go through their schedule really quick, since this is a bigger debate than I thought it would be. And again, I tried to start a segment out by saying, let's just pick a sleeper schedule. Like, there's a reason why I'm picking this team, because it's a sleeper, Jack. I'm not putting this in as a lock.
But let me ask you this. When they go out there and win 4 games again this year, are you going to be like, oh, sleeper? Like what are we accomplishing here? They're winning 4 games.
They're not winning 4 games.
The NFL schedule release.
They're also not winning 12 games. They're a sleeper team. I agree with Matt. And I think you're just salty because they're playing the Jaguars.
So it starts out with the potential derailment of the season.
I guess my question is, for them to, hit on being a sleeper, how many games do you think they're actually going to win?
I was going to say 6. I was going to say 6. If they win more than 6 games, then my case was proven right. But if they,
had the same conversation about the Washington Commanders last year.
Go and win
always
4
one
games.
team.
They go and win 4 games. No, I don't expect to get killed for saying, hey, here's my sleeper. I'm looking at the schedule. I'm looking at what they have. I'm watching a coach in his second year. I'm watching a quarterback that everybody gave up on. We, on this specific podcast, rated him off as never playing it down again in the National Football League. Then we switched it to never playing for the Panthers again. He came back, played very well down the stretch. You can say what you want about it being down the stretch. I think when you take the roster, again, I'll repeat myself, you take the roster, you take the coach in the next year, and you take win 5-6 games in the first half of the season. That builds momentum in the National Football League. We see it every year, every single year. And I'm not trying to convince you here, Jack.
You're not going to.
I don't think I am, but at least try and take the blinders off and have at least see the angle.
For me, it's as simple as they were one of the worst teams in the NFL last year. They have not gotten much better. Like their game plan is to bank on Ted McMillan to come in and Bryce Young to elevate his gameplay. We saw a little bit of elevation towards the end of last year, but enough for me to think that he's an NFL caliber quarterback? No shot. You want my sleeper team? It's a similar team, but we have a quarterback that we're going to talk about that's actually done something in this league, that's actually coming in and putting up Pro Bowls and could be an MVP, and that's Kyler Murray and the Cardinals.
I thought you were about to say the Jaguars.
Well, you know how I feel about Trevor Lawrence, but no, the Cardinals would be my sleeper team. I think Seattle's gone downhill. The Rams, I think that they're still going to be really good. There's no counting out McVay and Stafford. They just got Devontae. But the 49ers are also sort of clearing shop and looking on the decline. So I like the Cardinals' chances to actually make that jump and win their division. I'm not seeing it with the Panthers.
Yeah, they were my sleeper team last year, and that's fine. I'll give you the Cardinals. It could be, who knows what we'll see out of them again this year. They started out hot last year, really hot, and kind of fell off a cliff. One more thing on the Panthers here, because they won 5 games last year, including losing by 3 to the Chiefs, losing by 4 or 5 to the Eagles after Xavier Legette dropped a wide open pass in the end zone to win the game. So there's 2 more wins for you right there. Kept it close against the Bengals, ultimately lost by 10, I believe, in that game. And then lost by 3 in overtime to the Buccaneers. I mean, those are tight games. I mean, the overtime of the Buccaneers and the touchdown drop by Legette against the Philadelphia Eagles on the road. I mean, like, they are right there.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And I think that can happen. I think that can happen when you're the Eagles and you're playing a 3-4 win Panthers team that should be trying to lose every single one of their games so they can just get Travis Hunter and not Ted McMillan. I think you definitely overlook them late in the season like that. I think game 1, week 1, we're not overlooking the Carolina Panthers. We got a brand new regime, bunch of new players, new offensive line. We're not taking anybody lightly. We were a 4-win team last year. It's a whole other story.
Yeah, this guy on NFL Network has the Eagles winning week 1 and then losing 3 straight. But then going on a 5-game win streak after the 3 straight. These guys are high.
Good old schedule release day. Instant reactions.
Yeah, dude, that's nuts. But yeah, I hate to say it, but now I feel like I'll have a little extra edge on the Carolina Panthers this year.
Take it,
for
brother.
No reason at all.
Take it. I will let you have that.
Yeah, my surprise team is going to be the Patriots. Patriots are making the playoffs.
Making the playoffs.
The AFC just isn't that gauntlet that we've seen. I mean, you probably have the Bengals and the Ravens making it out of the East. The Bills are out of the North. The Bills out of the East, and then one team out of the South. There's room for another team, and the Patriots get to play Vegas, Miami, Pittsburgh, Carolina, Saints, Titans, Cleveland twice, Atlanta, the Giants, the Jets twice. I think there's a lot of winnable games there, and if Drake May could take that next step, they can win 9-10 games.
Same thing as the Panthers, man. They definitely have a chance to improve on what they did last year, but if you're going to sit here and tell me that they're a playoff team, I think you're crazy. I
think the NFC has a little more parity than the AFC does, where the Patriots could really be the best of that second group, and the NFC is going to have a lot of these mid-tier teams beating up on each other.
When you say the Patriots could be the best that second group, what does that mean? Like better than the Broncos, Chargers, Jags, Bengals, like you said, who are like the second team that aren't winning the division?
I put the Bengals and I guess the Broncos in that. The first group would be all the playoff teams from last year.
Sure.
I think the Patriots are right
all
at the top.
All the playoff teams from last year?
Yeah.
Including the Steelers?
Well, replace no Steelers. All the playoff teams from last year except the Steelers.
Figure it out.
And then you have, so the Steelers are at the bottom now. They're not making the playoffs again. I don't care about Mike Tomlin's freak and all that stuff. Will Howard's still going to win Rookie of the Year, but they're not going to make the playoffs. And then you have a spot open, and it's between, the Chargers and AFC South team, the Dolphins, and the Patriots. I think the Patriots are right there.
Jack, God forbid we try and digest the schedule release and think outside the box a little bit. You try and be so
made the playoffs.
Try and be so much Mr. Chalk, so much Mr. Chalk about everything, but then puff your Jaguars shirt and say we're going to win 12 games. It's unbelievable.
I said 11.
The way he's talking, it sounds like the only team that's going to enter the playoffs that wasn't in it last year is the Jaguars. You're saying it's going to be the same exact playoffs, except the Jaguars are going to win the South.
Cardinals are making the playoffs.
Who are they replacing?
The Packers.
The Vikings are not winning another 11
Vikings.
games.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
Green Bay.
Packers or Vikings would be who they would have to replace, I think.
I think
Maybe
Green Bay
the
is still
Rams.
Yeah, but that
Oh,
means
no.
the Niners
Yeah,
aren't going to make the playoffs again?
Replace the Rams.
You're saying the Niners are going to miss the playoffs again?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in the Niners this year. I don't know why you would. They lost a lot of pieces on defense and offense.
I think they'll probably be better than they were last year. They
I
should
would
have.
hope. Hopefully they've.
I guess you can make the argument Washington misses out this year. So there are teams in the NFC that you can leapfrog.
The Commanders
Yeah.
wouldn't be my first choice, but
You have options.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
this is all subject to change, right? Jalen Hurts goes down, Trevor Lawrence goes down. Like, we don't win the same amount of games that we're projecting to. It probably doesn't matter with Brian and his quarterbacks because they're just going to throw out.
Sure, it
whoever.
does. Yeah, they win more with Jameis than they do with Russ.
Yeah, and the Eagles have the best backup in football in Tanner McKay. That's just a fact at this point. So they don't lose much with Jalen Hurts going down.
Who do you got, Jack? CJ Beathard still?
Yeah, the Jags are the ones that take the hit when they go to the backup.
No, we got it's Nick Mullins from the Vikings,
Oh, that's not bad.
and then we also got
What's the
Have a
ball?
noodle arm, but not bad.
some undrafted free agent who's actually apparently pretty good. So
I think that's how the Eagles sniped up McKay, or maybe it was a 5th or 6th round pick. I think I could be wrong, but never know. Some of those guys blossom.
hopefully I never have to get to know him. You know,
That's
Oh, you will.
sure
very
shit. Hope Trevor Lawrence can play
true
full
statement.
season for the first time in a long time.
Oh, you still have John Walford.
Yeah, but he just came over too. I don't know if he's going to stick around. It's kind of like him or Nick Mullins, and I have a good feeling it's going to be Nick Mullins.
It's the undrafted free agent. You're talking about Seth Hennigan?
Yeah,
Look
I
at
don't know
this
how to say
kid.
his last name, but yeah.
Where was he at school?
Looks like a swinger. He went to Memphis. It's my phone's not gonna.
Yeah, that was terrible. Yeah, stop.
Oh, it's not gonna go. But he
Right,
looks.
get taken down for displaying some ad now, some ESPN ad.
Probably. I'm just gonna text it to you guys. But yeah, hopefully we won't have to be talking about our backup quarterbacks by like week 3.
No, that would be that would not be great by any stretch of the imagination.
Look, I honestly, I hope I'm wrong. I hope the league gets flipped upside down. I hope the Panthers have 15 wins. Hopefully we can see some good teams be good, some bad teams be good this season. But I don't know where you guys are getting your rocks off right now.
It's looking at it and trying to make a case for a team that sucked last year. And based on the schedule, which I thought I made very clear, forget who they have on the roster. Forget it. Get it out of your head. Look at the first 8-9 games and then look at how they finished last year. Look at who they have, the coach of the second year. I'm not saying they could win fucking 3 games.
Yeah, of course they can win 3 games.
But I'm giving, which would be less than last year, by the way. I think maybe it hasn't been a lot, but they've done enough to take a step, even if it's a small one, to improve on last year. And if the bar was 5 wins and a small step is up to 7 wins, like Brian said, they could be in the mix at the end to win the division. Am I going to go place $200 bet on a Panthers future? No.
Only if it's the NHL.
Only if it's the NHL. But,
I'm not winning at all.
Just trying to dissect the board here and take an angle, even if it's a really bad one. Who cares? Take an angle. That's why, I don't know. You're so anti on everything, Jack. But then when it comes to the Jaguars,
the Arizona Cardinals were not a good team
Super Bowl, here we come.
Yeah, Kyler Murray stinks. Also, Boston's up 22. It looks like we're going to game 6.
Kyler Murray's better than any quarterback you've had in the Giants locker room since probably ever. And yes, I do think Kyler is better than Eli.
Eli won 2 Super Bowls.
Eli got carried in 2 Super Bowls.
Has Kyler even played
the
in the NFC Championship?
He had one of the best postseasons of all time in 2011 to win the
He
Super
also
Bowl.
had one of the best teams around him of all time compared to Kyler Murray's.
Not in 2011. Not in
Track.
2011. In 2007, yes. In 2011, no.
Yeah, one of the years was what, when they won 9 games and shouldn't have even made the playoffs?
Both years. But that defense in 2011 was horrendous.
Yeah, no, they were never good. They got hot 2 different times.
That's all it takes to win a Super Bowl. Never happened for the Jaguars.
Hey, you're absolutely right, Brian. You are absolutely right. But we also got absolutely cut by Goodell and Brady. Miles Jack still was on.
Miles Jack wasn't down. That's fair.
All right. Anything else here on the schedule that I'm missing out on? I know we've been rambling
Do we
on a
have
lot.
any good London games?
I mean, we play the Rams. That should be a good one.
No,
Gladstone.
I'm not talking about Jaguars in London. That's boring. We see it every year. Are there any
Gladstone's
intriguing
revenge game against the Rams organization?
Well, what's pretty interesting, and I don't know the last time we've seen it. So the Chiefs have 7 primetime games, which, okay, Patrick Mahomes, we know they'll have a lot. But then the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Commanders are all tied with 6 primetime games. The NFC East will be on full display this year. And sure, the Eagles, I think, deserve to have a lot coming off the Super Bowl. But the Cowboys and the Commanders being tied with them for primetime games, like I said, the NFC East on full display. NFL thinks it's the best division in football.
Yeah, NFL actually understands business, and they put the East Coast teams that have the biggest following at the times they should be, and they don't cater to the West Coast like a certain other league that pisses me off.
They definitely
What
still
other
do
league
the
does
West
that?
Coast, Brian.
What other league?
Not
does
really.
that?
I mean, I think
They had the Super Bowl at 6
and
o'clock.
I understand the timing of this. I'm not ignorant to that, but I still think the fact that just because we got California teams like the Niners, playing in California on West Coast time, for them to always have the 4 o'clock slot, fuck that.
They don't put Monday Night Football at 10 o'clock for the 49ers. They make them play at the same damn time as everyone else.
As they should.
The NBA makes teams play at 11 o'clock their time, or 8 o'clock their time, so the East Coast people have to watch at 11 o'clock, and they can't. And they wonder why their ratings are low. But that's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother day.
I definitely don't want to get started on that discussion because I'm with you.
And
watching an NBA game at 11 o'clock when it tips off at 11:30 makes me want to pull my hair.
Yeah, especially when it's like the Memphis Grizzlies, who are in the Western Conference. It's a joke. I agree.
You're phasing people out of the playoff games. It's terrible.
Yeah, we'll continue to dissect the board and go through more, and I guess I'll be rooting for the Panthers a little more than I should be this year, and that's fine. I like the way and again, if they don't steal game 1, then it's a hoax and a farce.
We get Baltimore Bengals on Thanksgiving as the night game?
Baltimore back. Yeah, dude, the Thanksgiving games this year are electric.
Yeah, that's sick. It's also my birthday. It's going to be a great birthday.
Yeah, no, the Thanksgiving games, I tried to shed light on that when I said the Chiefs and the Cowboys, but I mean, that 4 o'clock slot will be awesome. And then it rolls right into the night game. I mean, I don't know how much of a better day you could ask for in terms of, crazy good football, at least on paper is what it should be,
Yeah, that'll be a fun day. And we'll get some holiday hoops giving. Gonna be a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it is going to be a good Thanksgiving, but a lot to digest, a lot to dissect. We'll continue. Jack, are you still dialed into a 4-0 hockey game?
Well, I got to yes.
Sweden hockey.
The quick answer is yes, but I also have it split screened with the Knicks Celtics game, and Jalen Brunson just rolled his ankle.
25-point basketball game and a 4-0 hockey game has your attention. All right, just making sure I'm understanding what's going on.
We got NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs. They got my attention. I like sports.
Man.
In case anybody listening didn't know that.
It's the the super exciting two blowouts, the super exciting playoffs.
I mean, these are 2 teams that I do like to root for. They're not the Jaguars or the Auburn Tigers, but I do root for the Knicks and the Panthers. And they got playoff games, man. I'm not going to apologize for watching my teams in the playoffs right now.
Didn't say you had to.
Don't appreciate getting called out.
It's kind of crazy.
Brian agrees.
No, I agree with Jack. It's crazy
What?
to call him out for watching sports on a sports show.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, there you go.
I was a little confused by that. I thought you were with Matt.
Yeah,
No.
I'll just go sit in the corner and F myself. But we do have. I mean, dude, 4-0 and a 22-point lead. Enjoy your exciting playoffs. Winners and losers of the week. Let's get into it. We do have a little bit more of the show here to go. I know we've been rambling on for a lot. I knew the NFL segment would take a while. I didn't think it'd be dominated by the Carolina Panthers, but it did take a while. It's what you get up here at section 400. Jack, so we can let you get back to your playoffs. Quick winner for you.
Winner of the week, it's going to be Derrick Henry. The running backs, they're not getting enough. Brian, I don't want to see the eyes. The running backs are not getting enough.
Boring.
I'm going to finish. I know the running backs are
Oh, he's allowed to call you out there? All right, cool. Continue.
I'm going to finish. So I know that the running backs are not getting enough love in this league. We all just praise Saquon joining the Eagles, having a big year, winning the Super Bowl, almost setting the rushing record. Derrick Henry, just the next one along the line. Got to give him his flowers. 2 years, $30 million, $25 million guaranteed. He deserves it. I mean, he's 30 years old, too. We don't see these kind of contracts for running backs at this age ever. This is the first time it's ever happened. Got to give him his flowers, King Henry. Now you guys can interrupt me.
Boring.
He said it. I didn't. Yeah, I mean,
Let's see what you
Henry is deserving. Not more deserving than Saquon, which is why I didn't get paid more than Saquon. And been one of the top running backs the last 10 years. Getting paid as such. I think everybody's just waiting to see when will the downfall of King Henry be, right? I mean, he is getting older and older, and he hasn't really slowed down.
Nope.
Nothing, Brian, just boring.
He's good. Then he got paid. I got the notification too.
Brother, nobody gets paid. Nobody gets paid at running back anymore.
It's a 2-year deal. All the running backs get is short-term deals now.
Yeah, you tell me the last time somebody got 2 years, $30 million. Thanks.
Cooper Kupp, 3 years, 45.
We're talking about running backs.
Oh, strictly running backs. I'm not sure.
Tell me the last time a running back got $30 million, 25 guaranteed for 2 years. And
I don't know because it's boring. I don't care about contract.
And he's 30+ years old, Brian.
I'm not paying him.
Give him his flowers.
He's good, sure. He got paid. I'm happy for him.
Why, Brian? That's not a true winner of the week.
No.
Should I make him my loser?
Why would he be a loser? You can make it a loser of the week because you didn't have a good winner of the week. So that's your.
It's not that it's not that it's not a. It's not
of the week, you petty mother.
It's not that it's not a winner of the week. I think Brian just thinks it's a lazy winner of the week, and I tend to agree.
Okay, look, we can't. Nobody bats 1,000, right?
No, it is, dude. You gotta do your research, and you gotta winner loser of the week is not for the week.
I guess not, Brian. You better have some good winners and losers, otherwise
they're really not that great, but they're better than yours.
Lay it on me, Brian. Your turn.
My winner of the week is Gamblers because Rob Manfred decided to reinstate Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson into baseball, and they can now make it to the Hall of Fame.
And we're calling that a win?
For Gamblers, yes. Because apparently you can break the rules of baseball, but all you got to do is die, and then you could go into the sacred Hall of Fame. And
their reasoning was that since they're dead, they can no longer break the integrity of the game.
It's a complete joke. It's Rob Manfred doing
wild reasoning to give.
You know what, Brian? I'm not going to call that one boring, but I will call it idiotic. I think Pete Rose is a whole separate conversation than Shoeless Joe. Shoeless Joe legitimately threw a World Series.
He played well.
I don't What?
He played well in that World Series. He was just on the team.
His team legitimately threw the World Series. Pete Rose was a dude who was betting on himself, which I personally don't have a problem with.
You can't tell me he didn't bet against his team a couple times.
Look, I don't know, Brian, but from what I've heard, would you think I was looking over his shoulder as he's putting down deposits in FanDuel in the 40s?
Mad at me.
Yeah, I am mad at you. No, but look. I mean, everybody's going to have their own opinion on this. Me personally, from what we know, Pete Rose was betting on himself to win. I have no problem with that. I'd be fine with him getting in there. But Shoeless Joe, on the other hand, I don't want him in there.
Well, they're both dead, so they can no longer hurt the integrity of the game.
It's Rob Manfred doing something to say he did something.
That's Rob Manfred. Hey, don't make the face at me. That's Manfred. That's his saying, not mine.
I feel like I'm giving you that look because I still think that if voters end up putting them in the hall, that's still. I don't think they will, but I still think that that's a way where they can diminish the integrity of the game.
It's a joke to me that
from the grave.
This is a headline and Barry Bonds is still not in the Hall of Fame. When the whole MLB of the 90s was juicing and Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe were 1 in a million of gambling on game.
I completely agree. All right. My winner of the week doesn't have to be a great one, but I think it's a pretty special moment. Mr. Rich Hill. Dick Mountain, the 45-year-old, gets a minor league contract with the Royals. Why is it so special? He has a shot to pitch for his 14th MLB team. If he makes it to the majors, pitch for his 14th. I think that's an MLB record. And he's 45 years old, still trucking along. Rich Hill, my winner of the week.
Yeah, Rich Hill was drafted out of high school in 1999. 7 players on the AAA Omaha Royals team were born after 1999.
I mean, he's 45. Imagine that you played for half the teams in the league. That's pretty nuts.
This is literally like Disney's movie, The Rookie, Jamie Moyer, and what was his name? Dennis Quaid, the actor. I mean, this is a real life version of that movie.
Yeah, and yeah, you're right. Well, Jamie Moyer, he was like 50 when he was on the Phillies.
Yeah,
but I don't think Moyer wasn't with as many teams as Rich Hill was, though.
He was a Rocky for a while.
Yeah,
Rich Hill was a Met.
Dude, he's on half the teams in the league. He's on a lot of teams.
Flip a coin. You might be right.
Flip a coin. You might be right. I mean, it's pretty spectacular. 45 years old. I guess he throws the kitchen sink at you. Obviously, does not rely on a fastball at that age. So, maybe a bullpen guy at best, middle relief. I can't see him starting and going deep into games. So, but either way, Rich Hill, 45 years old, staying in the league and trying to break a record. That's a win of the week for me. Maybe not for Jack. I don't know. Loser of the – I don't know, dude.
For him.
Derrick Henry had a better week. Losers of the week.
This guy, whatever you called him, Dick Mountain, he's trying to get an MLB.
Rich Hill, dude, Dick Mountain.
Dick and Derrick on the winner of the week list.
Look, he's trying to get himself a contract. Derrick Henry's counting out $25 million, guaranteed.
I think he's just trying to get away from his family.
Who?
Dick Mountain.
I'm sure he's got 4 kids at home, so that wouldn't surprise me.
Loser of the week, Jack. What do you got for us here?
Yeah, Brian, did you get this notification? The Bengals are screwing over another one of their players.
Oh, Trey Hendrickson?
Did you hear about that?
I did.
The Bengals organization, for the nth time in a row, have screwed over another one of their star players. I think it's absolutely astonishing that they've been able to handle Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, but just nothing else in that franchise. I mean, Trey Hendrickson is a guy who has gotten you 17.5 sacks the past 2 seasons back-to-back. Clearly one of the best in the league at getting the quarterback, and you don't want to pay him. Like, you had the worst defense in the league last year, and you don't want to pay him. Just stupid.
I mean, there's even a case to be made for the mishandling of Jamar Chase. I mean, that was not smooth sailing.
It was
I
not
mean,
smooth.
Borderline was sitting out camp and almost sat out parts of the regular season. If you remember just last year, fantasy drafts, he dropped very late in first round mocks because of the uncertainty of his status for playing, because he was holding out, because he wanted the contract. So even with him, sure, they got the deal done, but it had to go through a rocky road. Yeah, Trey Hendrickson, he calls Cincinnati home. He wants to be in Cincinnati. He puts his freaking everything on the line for that team. You mentioned, Jack, the 17.5 sacks, one of the premier elite edge rushers in not only the AFC, but the entirety of the National Football League. It's a shame and a disgrace. I don't know what the issue is. Do they not have any money left? Do they have no cap? Like, I don't know what are they that far apart on a contract? The guy loves Cleveland. He loves Cincinnati. He loves Ohio. He wants to be there. Can you not find a common ground on a contract? Is he asking for that much? I don't know.
I mean, my favorite part about this whole story is the guy that would seemingly be replacing him. Their first-round pick, Shamar Stewart, had, 2 sacks at A&M last year, and he is holding out because he hasn't gotten a rookie contract yet. It's just shit show.
Poorly run organization that, look, is 3-4 years removed from a Super Bowl appearance and has only gotten worse. They've kind of kept the team together. At least Joe Burrow, Hendrickson was on that team. Was Jamar Chase there?
Yeah.
Jamar was.
They've been able to keep them together for the most part. The important is on the offense. Defensively,
no, the defense took a bit of a hit, but either way, I mean, it's been rough.
Yeah,
I agree, and they found out a way to keep Jamar Chase. Who knows what they'll do with Hendrickson, but it's the wrong headlines for the wrong reasons out of Cincinnati. It's not what you want going into a season, especially you have your guys healthy. You have one of the best quarterbacks, arguably the best wide receiver. It's not the headlines you want coming out of it. It just creates a bad vibe around the team.
But look, you said it. You have one of the best quarterbacks in the game right now. That's all you need to as a franchise say we need to surround this team with amazing players.
Right.
Getting rid of Trey Hendrickson is not a step in the right direction. So it's almost like it's just like how we were talking with the Steelers a few weeks ago when they traded George Pickens. If your plan is to bring in Aaron Rodgers and try and go win a Super Bowl, you need George Pickens too. Getting rid of premier players is never a recipe for success, unless you're promised Cooper Flag.
Yeah, well said at the end. But Brian, a loser of the week for you, sir.
I think I'm going to take the Bengals to win the Super Bowl again. But my loser of the week is every collegiate golfer that did not enroll at Auburn. So the NCAA tournament started this weekend. Auburn hosted a regional round. Second place in that 3-day regional round was Texas A&M. They shot 5 under par. What do you think the Auburn Tigers shot from par?
12 under.
I remember seeing at one point that the team in second place was even, and Auburn was minus 19. What did we finish?
Auburn finished 32 under par. I repeat, second place Texas A&M was 5 under par.
And
Dude, I thought
at the college level.
I thought 19 to even was crazy, and we wouldn't hold that. 35 to 5.
Yeah, Jackson Cliven shot 12 under. He was in first place. Baca shot 7 under. He was in fourth place. And Brendan Valdez and Josiah Gilbert shot 5 under. They were tied for 5th place on the individual leaderboard. So 4 of the 5 golfers were top 5.
Yeah, and again, it still unbelievable and still a blowout, but it is individual scores added up.
Yeah,
and it was their home course, so there is an advantage there.
There's some advantage there. It's not like one golfer was 30 under.
Right.
That's what I thought. I thought it was one guy was 30 under and the guy came in second was 5 under. I was like, all right, that's unbelievable.
That's unbelievable. But still, I mean, that goes.
It kind of makes it harder too, where you have 5 guys to even out the averages.
It's still a wide gap, but yeah, I mean,
I didn't realize that was on our home court. That gives it a little bit.
I
more
mean, you guys you guys
Home course.
home course would be the proper term, I guess, to use there. But you guys went there. How many times did you go to the Auburn golf course, if any at all?
I took a golf class.
When I was a student,
Yeah.
0.
I
Never
was
went.
going to say, do you guys even know what this course looks like?
Yeah, I was there every day for a semester.
Is it
I didn't
on
get
campus? Is it near campus? Is it in pristine condition? What
Yeah,
are
it's
we
like a
looking at?
15-minute drive from campus. It's nice condition. It's like a mini
Right,
country club.
Which course do they play at?
Auburn Golf Course.
Oh, all right. I've heard of it.
I knew one of you two definitely would have never been there. I thought for sure it would have been Brian, though, to be completely
I
honest.
took a class.
I didn't get golf clubs until after I graduated. I went golfing. I've been golfing like twice in my life, man.
I got you. All right. Well, Brian's not an avid golfer either, so that's why I had him on my list of definitely not going.
See me at mini golf though.
Yep. All right. My loser of the week, and to wrap up this oh-so-fun segment we do here every week, it's going to be the New Orleans Saints, specifically because Derek Carr retired. And now go and look at their quarterback room. They're putting all the faith this year. Remember, they brought back Alvin Kamara. They brought back, Cam Davis, the big D end? Cam Jordan. They brought pieces back. I don't know if they were hoping Derek Carr would be there to run it back. I don't know if there'll be sellers at any point this year. But Tyler Shaw, I think, is his second-round pick out of Louisville. Putting all the faith in him to lead this veteran-led team in a very weak division. I don't know what happened there, but I really don't think they're expecting Derek Carr to retire.
I mean, I
still had another year left on his deal.
I'm surprised Chris Olave hasn't retired after he saw Derek Carr retired.
Well,
I mean, dude,
honestly,
show Spencer Rattler and Jake Hayner.
No, look,
that's the QB room.
Look, we know they're going to be bad. We know they have no shot with that quarterback room. This league is about the quarterback. I mean, maybe the rookie Tyler Shaw comes in and kicks ass. Maybe.
I mispronounced it too. I had no idea how to pronounce it. I know Louisville was good this year.
Suge Knight. I'm just going to call this guy Suge Knight at this point, Brian. Hey, you ain't getting me anymore.
Very white. I mean, I love that word.
Why not? Maybe he can come in and light up the world, sort of like Jaden Daniels did last year, and propel this team. But I'm not expecting that. But I will say, I'll give him a better shot than I would have given Derek Carr. Now, people were in on Derek Carr for
really?
what reason.
I don't know. Did you see his combine? He was chucking balls into the ground. It was really bad.
That might be the case, but that goes to show how little faith I had in Derek Carr. You know, as Matt said earlier, like the Saints, they brought everybody back. They were ready to run it back, and I'm sitting there like, what are you trying to run back? You still have Derek Carr as your quarterback. You're not going anywhere with him. You spent a decade in Las Vegas, or I guess Oakland, and then Las
All-time
Vegas.
leading passer in franchise history.
In Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, we can rip on Derek Carr all we want, and I would say for sure, very, very average career in terms of stats. And I know he had like the 1 year where the Raiders were great. Quietly made $200 million playing in the NFL. So pretty good time to retire. What was that? 11 years, made $200 million bucks, called it quits, and made the playoffs, a couple times? Did he even ever win a playoff game? It shows that, one, the quarterback position pays, and two, you just have to be average.
Probably the best football player from Fresno State in the history of the world.
Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams played basketball, I guess.
Yeah.
I know what he actually might have played basketball too, by the way, which I think is funny.
No, I
guess you got me with Adams. Sorry, Jack.
No, Derek Carr, just, you said it, average quarterback, never worth his salt. You can get paid as a franchise quarterback even if you're not winning games. Look, Trevor Lawrence did it. I'm not blind to the fact that Trevor Lawrence has one playoff win under his belt, and we're paying him like Joe Burrow, like Patrick Mahomes. Like he has not gotten us to a Super Bowl, but we're still paying him as such. But that's what you have to do if you have one of these guys. Now, I never thought Derek Carr was one of those guys.
No, you don't. You don't. The Giants set themselves back 10 years by doing that.
Daniel Jones was never that guy. They played themselves.
Trevor Lawrence? I'm not going to start this again, but I mean,
no, but
we could look in 3 to 4 years from now, Brian. We could look back and say, Jags, they played themselves. I think it would honestly take Trevor Lawrence getting hurt every season for the rest of his career for that to happen. The next time he puts together a full season, you're going to see it. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, we don't need to go down the rabbit hole. I think Brian and I kind of maybe already see that a little more than you do, but we don't have to go down the whole rabbit hole on that one. But to your point, I agree, and not even Trevor Lawrence. I think Justin Herbert's right up there too. Right, they're getting paid as top quarterbacks, and out of all those guys who have come out of the draft and been paid like that, it's Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert have both underperformed and have been disappointing up until this point of their NFL careers. There an opportunity and a chance to turn it around? Absolutely.
And
we'll
one
see.
One of those guys has a playoff win.
Sure, I'll give you that. If that's what you want to
questioning Justin Herbert and his contract.
No, I grouped them both together. It's Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert. Yeah, out of that entire draft of all those guys who got paid, I don't even think they were together, but all those guys around the same year that got huge contracts. It's the two underperforming and a disappointment to this point is Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert.
And I want to say real quick, I think that is totally fair. They are definitely in the same boat.
What bone do you have to pick with Brian?
One sec. They're both elite quarterbacks. But I do think that I've seen enough where I go, Justin Herbert, you can go win a team at Super Bowl. Trevor Lawrence, you can go win a team at Super Bowl. There's organizations have failed them. We had Urban Meyer, they had Brandon Staley. Like it's not necessarily their fault.
To start this.
I'm not there, dude.
Brian, what were you just trying to say right before that?
No, you said that Trevor Lawrence was in a better spot than Justin Herbert, and I said no. Matt's saying they're in the same spot, which I agree with.
I think they're in a very similar spot. I think if you want to look,
they both were given big money, and they haven't lived up to that big money.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a very fair statement to say. The only differentiating factor I was going to say is the guy Trevor Lawrence beat Justin Herbert in a playoff game, and I think that you need to consider that.
I do, but there was also Brandon Staley, and I think you need to consider that too. But we don't need to keep going down this.
Yeah,
we've had this debate a million times.
Yeah, I'm just saying, for what we've seen so far, regardless of who's here, who's there, who's coaching who, they're the two guys who haven't lived up to the hype. Regardless of situation.
Kyler Murray in a way too.
And Kyler Murray,
I almost have failed him too.
Yeah, he obviously was a little bit before these guys that we're talking about. Yeah. I mean, if you want to start grouping guys in, Dak Prescott's right there as well.
Yeah, there is a clear kind of. I guess
that's what I'm saying. You can go down the list. I'm trying to keep it to that. 29.
What was the original loser of the week here?
I do think that
Saints having Derek Carr retire and their quarterback room being horrible.
From Dak, where we truly believe he's never winning a Super Bowl. Even if we put Dak on that Eagles team last year, are they winning the Super Bowl? I don't think so. Like I don't think Dak is good enough.
It was a shot, maybe, but
I think
he's a choker in big games. He's a choker in big games. He's a choke. So no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm with you.
The difference there though is I think that he could have handed the ball off to Saquon 40 times. That Eagles team was really good. I think when I say as a shot, they don't have a nearly as good of a shot as Jalen Hurts, but I don't think the drop off from like Trevor Lawrence or Justin Herbert to attack.
Yeah, it's another shot at Hurts, and that's fine.
No, I'm saying Hurts was better than all those quarterbacks.
Just fucking with you, man.
All right. Should we talk about balls and holes?
Yeah. Winners and losers of the week, as always. Glad we had a little bit of fire there to wrap that one up. You guys let us know below who wins the Super Bowl first. We had the convo about Jalen Hurts and the other guys. Who gets it first? Justin Herbert or Trevor Lawrence? Who gets it first? Let us know down in the comments below.
Neither
all right.
Person.
Sure. Whatever you want to say. Let the people decide, Brian. Let's be a democracy for once. PGA Picks. PGA Championship starts right now as you're watching this. I wish I could get these picks out there to you sooner, but there are some favorites to go over. There are some long shots to go over. Brian, I know you said you had some juice on the favorites. Jack, I'm sure you'll give somebody out if you can. 10 more minutes here, guys. Let's try and give the people some good stuff, and then we'll hop on out of here.
All right, I got a couple picks for the people. Fair warning, I haven't won a golf bet in about 3 years, but this is the week I hit.
Very dope.
It's supposed to rain on Thursday, I believe, at the course. So I put into Google, who are the best golfers in the rain? And it gave me Brooks Koepka, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Shane Lowry. So I'll be placing a bet on all of them to lead the field after the first round. To win the tournament, I'm going with Scotty Scheffler. I know it's chalk, and it's probably Jack's pick too. But I didn't realize the only major he's won is the Masters. And with Rory completing his career Grand Slam, what better time for Scotty to get the second leg to try to catch Rory? So he's my first pick. My, I guess, long shot favorite, but still kind of a favorite, would be Justin Thomas. So he's been playing very well. He won the RBC. He was second at Truist last week. And his birthday was only 2 weeks ago. He won at this course in 2017. I don't know. Justin Thomas, all things are pointing in the right direction.
Yeah. I think this course does favor the favorites, if that makes sense. You really can't go wrong with Scotty, Rory. It's a 1A, 1B situation with the two of them. Rory coming off the major win, you see every year in golf, winning a major catapults you to momentum to the next major. So I think that'll help him a lot there as well. And, I don't know the exact stats, but Rory has won at this course a couple different times, including the PGA Championship. So very familiar. It favors his style of play, which is just absolutely crushing the ball out of the tee box. Rory's going to be a big favorite pick here. But Jack, want to get your insights here before I run through everything I got.
Yeah, well, I was actually going to start talking a little bit about Justin Thomas, but Brian kind of stole my thunder and then also said that I was going to pick – who do you think I was going to take, Bryson?
Scotty.
Oh, I should have said Bryson. You're a big Bryson guy.
Well, that's cool. I am a Bryson guy, but I'm actually going to go with Hideki Matsui with this one and take the Japanese golfer to take home.
You got to add a couple of letters to the end of that. You said the old second baseman.
He was an outfielder.
Yeah, I was going to say he was an outfielder.
Oh, Kaz Matsui was the second baseman.
Yeah. Say he was way too big to play second base. There was a skyscraper in Japan. Hideki Matsuyama, however you pronounce that. Give me the Japanese golfer.
Yeah, Hideki Matsuyama. I mean, that guy is one way or the other. He could be leading after round one, or he could be 5 over. He really is a mental case. If he can stay out of his head and play his game, sure, I don't hate the pick at all. The problem is you don't know what golfer you're going to get. So for me, the inconsistency and a little inconsistency up to this point, I don't know that I can get behind Matsuyama, but I agree. He has all the talent and has been there before to win tournaments like this before. Too much of a mental case for me.
I think the rain, as Brian was saying, it's going to help calm him, and he's going to have a nice
or put one into the water.
So I don't know if you guys saw on Monday, it was torrential downpour monsoon. He was the only guy out there on the putting green practicing with like 3 guys holding umbrellas over him. It was like, I don't even know how that helps you. How does that help you?
Practice on the wet green.
There was puddles on the green. It was a pool. How do you even hit the ball? I mean, it was a torrential monsoon downpour, and he was out there on the putting green.
That's my guy.
maybe have something there for for a round one leader. Like I said, he was out Monday. The course was closed to the public. That's how bad it was. Not for Matsuyama, who was out there on the putting green in torrential downpour. All right. I'll run through some of the research that I did. Like I kind of already said, Scotty, Rory, 1A, 1B situation. It's tough not to take them. They have been the best golfers. Rory coming off the major win. Like I said, that momentum going into another major always flows well, follows well. Colin Morikawa is another favorite. And again, these are guys at the top. This course suits him well. It's a ball striker paradise, as I said with Rory. Morikawa, same kind of guy. The iron play has been solid as well as the putting this year. He's been towards the top of leaderboards. I think towards the weekends he's fallen off a little bit. But, yeah, I think as we get to the weekend, he's a name that can for sure be there, plus 2,500, good value. As a golf fan, I do like Justin Thomas, JT, plus 2,200. The game has been on point. We haven't seen it since like 2017, 18, 19. He's back. Think worth the sprinkle. There's just something in me that's saying I'm not sure that he's going to have enough at the end to get it done. I don't know what it is. I'm a huge fan of JT, especially when he's on. He has been on, but there's just something that when it's everybody involved, I don't know how. I just think the talent's too much. I don't know what it is. Maybe he gets it done. I do like him. All right, long shots. Here's where we have some fun. Ashke Bhatia. Guys probably never heard of the guy. Plus 13,000.
He's a good striker.
Great ball striker. Plus 13,000. Immense value. The course is soaked, so the players will need to scramble a bit here, right? The tee shots can be a little dicey. Could be into the rough. A guy who scrambles very well is Ashke Bhatia. You see him make birdies from the rough all the time. One of the better scramblers on tour. Also towards the top of the leaderboard at the Masters. Believe he was top 5 at one point. He did fall off before the weekend and completely fell off there. So I think he'll be a little more comfortable playing in his second major. And I think, again, this is a long shot, but I think he could be there. What do you got, Brian? You look like you're ready to say something.
Are you worried about the raindrops falling on his glasses and causing some frustration?
Not particularly, because to be completely honest with you, I thought it was just supposed to be super rainy all week. But by the time the tournament got here, I thought the rain was supposed to be cleared out. So let me get a quick weather update on Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay, there is. It says 60%, but as I'm scrolling through, we're looking at sunny, partly cloudy tomorrow in Charlotte. So I think it's just a wet course. I think we're supposed to be clear all weekend. So actual raindrops dropping, not too sure we're going to see that. So to answer your question, no, I'm not worried about water getting in his eyeglasses after doing a quick weather check there. But he is a guy, I think, dude, if you got $10, his game's been on point. He's won his first tournament last year. This year, it's a sprinkle, plus 13,000. Will let me know when he's 3 over at the end of the next round about Bhatia and how he, fucked up his whole parlay. But anyway, another sneaky one for some top 5, top 10 finishes. Jason Day. He's been playing immaculate at majors this year. He's been playing some of the best golf of his career. This guy's been around forever, 40-plus years old. Top 10 is plus 250. Why is that important? At the Masters, he finished tied 8th. What I say, momentum from major to major here. Major to major. Top 10. He finished top 8 at the Masters. I think the momentum, plus 250. I think there's value there. If you really want to get crazy, plus 550 for a top 5 finish out of Jason Day. Playing really well this year. Like I said, the top 10 at the Masters, I think, will carry over with that one. Last one here, guys. I know I got a lot, but I promise the last one, and it's a big one that people will have money on, has looked horrible this year, has not played well, has even missed cuts. It's Jordan Spieth at plus 5,000. We haven't seen this guy do anything in a long time, and that's why I do think it's a major long shot, and I think he maybe should even be closer to plus 10,000 because he just has not shown any bit of life to win a tournament. Here's why it's important. He has the chance to get into Goff's immaculate grouping. If he wins this tournament, he would have completed the Goff Grand Slam. He's already won the Open. He's already won the Masters. He's won the U.S. Open. The only thing he hasn't won is the PGA Championship, which they are entering starting Thursday. So, just on the fact that he's a guy who has a chance to go for a Grand Slam, plus 5,000, do I think he's going to do it? I'm not totally convinced this guy has not looked great all year. He really, it's been piss poor play. But the fact that the Grand Slam's there, why not throw $10? And if he's there on Sunday, what a storyline to root for. But that's the PGA Championship talk I got for you guys. I hope some of these bets hit. I'll probably play the Bhatia. Spieth, just because why not, man? A Grand Slam is nuts. Imagine seeing back-to-back Grand Slams in the first two majors of the year.
I was going to say, Rory just did it. You really think they're going to get a back-to-back here?
It's up to Jordan Spieth. It's not up to the golf community. It's up to Jordan Spieth. I don't think it's rigged in any way. It's going to be all up to him. So I don't know. I think there's a chance. But the Jason Day top 10, I think there's an angle. Ashke Bhatia at plus 13,000 and Morikawa at plus 2,500. I think are definitely the ones. And look, you can take Scotty, Rory at plus 400, plus 450 respectively for each. But is there any fun or value in that? I mean, come on. Like, the reason you take a pick here is because of the odds. And plus 400 just doesn't move the needle. Agree or disagree, Brian?
I agree. It's no fun.
It's no fun, dude. The reason is because you get the long odds. All right, it's been a hell of a show. Over 2 hours. We haven't had one of these in a while. It's 10 o'clock on the East Coast. We do this for you guys to bring you the action, to bring you the insight. We tried to give, again, as much as a recap of the schedule release as we could. We'll deeper dive as we roll through the summer months. We'll see how we feel about the Panthers leading into training camp, who will now be the fan team or the podcast team. Who knows?
I know we talked about the Panthers a bunch. I just heard from our resident 400 section 400 resident Panthers fan. He thinks that the Panthers schedule is an L. So I don't.
No,
I wouldn't
he's saying no. This is he's after dark for your brain. He's saying
excited about the Carolina Panthers
no.
schedule.
No, you've read that wrong. He's saying the Patriots are going to lose to the Panthers because Ben said the Patriots have an easy schedule.
I didn't read that wrong.
I said the Giants is an L, and then he said L to the Panthers too.
This has been awesome. I will catch y'all later. The Florida Panthers just won 6-1, so you can suck on that.
Lead in hockey.
Choke on some syrup, bro.
Keith Mitchell plus 11,000.
Wild.